Hey, it's Monica V, and today we are talking about 5 things that make a vata anxious so that you cannot do these things anymore. And I'm gonna help you. I've got 5 fixes from an Ayurvedic perspective that really help anxiety. They're just 5 practices, things that you can be mindful of that will help. And at the end of this video, I'd love for you to choose one that you're gonna go for and you're actually gonna practice, because watching videos is great, but putting the practice into your life is what makes Ayurveda work. And so let's dive in to these 5 things that create a little anxiety for vata. The first one is overwhelm. Yes, overwhelm. It means that vata type people like to accept all the projects from all the people all the time. They love to say yes. They love to be creative. They love to think they can do it all, and they quickly get overwhelmed because they can't. They got more on their plate, which creates worry and anxiety and all of that stuff. So here's my tip for you vatas. Here's the fix. Choose 3 things, no more. That's it. Chop everything off. If you look at your list and you're like, really? That's all I have to do? That's perfect. Because even if you think you're like, oh no, I can do that. I think I can squeeze that in. No. It's going to create too much overwhelm, which is going to create that anxiety that you actually can't get it done. So trim your list down to 3 things and stick to those. The second thing is indecision. Vatas love to fly by the seat of their pants. They like spontaneity. They like to keep their options open. But if you're a vata that's already anxious, that's one of the ways that you can actually create more anxiety because you don't have a solid plan. So my advice is, if you're faced with a decision, say yes or no right away. Just make it. And based on number 1, you might want to start saying no rather than yes, unless you absolutely want to do it, or if it's going to bring so much joy in your life or to somebody else. But make sure that it's doable for you. So make the choice, know that it's the best decision you are making at this moment in time, and move on. That way you don't have to expend all this mental energy wondering what the best choice is, or if you'll make the best choice, or worrying down the path of when I make that choice, this or this or this or this or this or this or this could happen, and you trail off and use all that mental energy. Keep your mind calm, keep the anxiety level low, and just make the right choice, knowing that it's the best decision that you made today and all will be well. Number 3 is the cold. Honestly, I have a space heater sitting right here because I'm freezing all the time. In the corporate world, I had a space heater below my desk. We sometimes just need that warmth and that groundedness, especially for vata, so that we can feel cozied. Whether that is a nice steam shower or a bath at the end of the day, or whether it is internal heat with exercising and doing something that brings up our heat. It could even be yoga. It could even be pranayama. You could use a hot water bottle, set it on your lap. Any of the things that warm you up will lower that level of anxiety because it will be calming the mind through actually our sense of touch. Number 4, and I'm going to apologize, I'm sorry, is coffee. If you're drinking a lot of coffee and you tend to feel anxious, maybe try not doing that, and having something like even a black tea would help. I know how much you love coffee. I do too. But you know what? It put me on a moody roller coaster and gave me headaches and gave me so much anxiety that I actually can only have it a little bit on occasion now. And I usually just drink Earl Grey tea, and it works just fine, and I love it just as much. No, I'm not here to take away your coffee. I'm just saying, if you're already having a problem with anxiety, it might be a place to start. You could try it for 2 weeks and see if you feel better, just having some black tea or something else. And if you do, that might be one of the causative factors of your anxiety and your worry. And number 5 is lack of sleep. Lack of sleep or disrupted sleep or not optimal sleep are all causes of vata increase, which is one of the root causes of anxiety. And so if you're not sleeping well, I put a video below that you can watch all about sleep tips based on Ayurveda. So you can follow that video and follow some of the tips in there. But just know that lack of sleep gives us a lack of restoration and a lack of rest and a lack of that coziness, warm darkness that we need to restore and balance that vata. So again, in Ayurveda, like increases like. So if we're going and going and going and going, our bodies are, our mind is going to do the same thing. And that's essentially where that anxiety comes from, is because our mind is constantly racing. It's constantly going. We don't have that settledness, that groundedness, and that little bit of restoration that we need. So as a recap, the 5 things that give Vata's anxiety is overwhelm. So trim that down. Number 2 is indecision, so make one. Number 3 is cold, so warm it up. Number 4 is coffee, maybe no bueno, try it out. And number 5 is lack of sleep, so get some and regulate your sleep. If this helped you today, be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell so you can get notified every time I post a new video. Like it, share it with your friends, post your comments and questions below. I always love to hear from you. And as always, we'll keep bringing Ayurveda to life. Mwah.